Hello, I'm Emily, if we haven't met before. Vicky is going to be doing demo today. It's so good to see you guys. So today we are going to be doing some wonderful love for tight hips and hamstrings. So half lotus is a pose that we're going to be working with, exploring half lotus in different shapes. So a lot of students have said to me after they've attempted half lotus, they find that they get either soreness in their knees or soreness in their ankles. And essentially with your lotus shape, your hip needs to externally rotate, your knee, and then your ankle. And so coming out of a pose and you're finding that you have knee pain, ankle pain, then usually what it means is that your hip is not externally rotating enough. So we have to do a lot of hip opening. Just going to check what this says. Hi Janice, hi Anna. All right, so I have to say on that, we're going to be doing some wonderful love for hips and hammies. So let's come onto your back when you're ready. So on your back, I want you to bring soles of the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana to open up the hips. So this is a shape that's very toward your lotus, this external rotation of your hips. So bringing the feet to touch, allowing the knees to open. I want you in your own time to take a big breath in through your nose. Release through your mouth. And again, inhale. Release. And once more, inhale. Release. And now I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. So as you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, allow that breath to reach a little bit deeper in the low lungs. You might even place your right hand on your lower belly, your left hand on your heart. So I'm going to give you a nice simple count today. In for 4 and out for 4. So exhaling the air through your nose. Breathing in 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4. In 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4. Out. So just keep your breath coming in through your nose and out through your nose. Are you able to hear me, guys? Those of you on Zoom, we're trying something different, doing it through an iPhone, and it doesn't seem to be connecting to audio. What was that? No, I don't think so. I think the mic is right next to me. I'm just trying a few things, guys. I've got Edie and Caroline talking to me. I'm sorry, everybody. Are you able to hear me? No. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. We might need to move you over to Facebook Live or... Yeah. Guys, what we are going to do is... Forgive me. Facebook Live. We are still staying live. We're not changing a thing, but we are pausing the session and we are moving over to the other. All right. We'll be 5 minutes away and we will resume at 6:10. Sorry, guys. I can't hear anything all of you are saying. All right, so we're going to resume the meeting. Let's see if I can type. Let's see if I can get audio working in here. No. Sorry, everybody. Hello. Can Hello everybody. Can you hear Emily now? Can you hear me now? Oh, good. The vision is coming back now. Okay. There it is. Okay. Okay, so you... Oh, man. What we're going to do is go back via laptop because no love. Yeah, we have to... Okay, all right, guys. You've got it now? Let's try. Okay. 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 Mute. That's going to mute me. All right. Okay. How do I mute everyone? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, I'm going to mute all. Okay, let's mute. Mute. Mute audio. Okay. You got it. All right. So let's see if I can get, and now I can't hear everyone, so I hope everything's okay. Setting up back in frame. All right. I'm sorry everybody on Facebook Live. I think we're okay on Zoom now. I hope you can all hear me. I've got my mic connected, so hopefully you've got me. If you have any problems, go across to the Facebook Online Yoga Studio group, so the Cooler Online Yoga group.
Andy, okay. If you're still there, give us a thumbs up if you can hear on Zoom. We'll give it a go.
I'm so sorry, everybody. We tried some new stuff for tech to make sure sound and everything gets better, and it just has been a little bit of a challenge. Forgive us. We are going to begin. All right, so coming onto your back, soles of the feet touching, Supta Baddha Konasana. So the shape's important to allow the hips to start to open. Take a big inhale through the nose. Mouth. And again, inhale. Release. Once more, inhale. Release. And then just allow your shoulders to relax into the floor. Today, as well as opening up the hips, we'll be opening up the shoulders a little bit with some binds. Just allowing that a little bit deeper down into the lungs. Your belly inflates when you breathe in and deflates when you breathe out. When you're ready, I want you to bring your knees in towards each other. Hug your knees in towards your chest and just massage the back on the floor just a little bit. You might want to place one hand on each knee, split the knees wide apart and circle the legs out, around and back in again. Just noticing how that feels through the groin to open up through the hips. And change direction and circle out the other way. So bring the legs back in toward each other. Stretch both legs up towards the ceiling and get your feet really active. We can keep the head, neck and shoulders relaxed down on the floor for now. I want you to take an inhale. Exhale, lower your left leg to hover just off the floor and take hold of the back of your right thigh, calf or ankle. Get a bit of a stretch through the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, figure four. Right ankle hooks above left knee and taking hold of the back of the left thigh. And you're just working a bit of a stretch through this right hip. So already we're starting to get into that external rotation of that right hip. And if it feels good to almost maybe draw a circle on the floor. So you're massaging in a circle, just seeing what happens as you, yeah, nice Vicky, as you shift the weight a little bit from side to side. Just slightly engage the core muscles. It'll get into the hips a little bit. Wonderful. From here we work into a twist. So your arms open out. Don't have much space. Yes, cactus your arms. Legs dropping over toward this direction. So over toward the left. Now, as you can see, yes, Vicky, you can keep the sole of the foot there. That's one beautiful option. Or legs drop and allow, yeah, that's another gorgeous option. You can have the legs crossed, stacked, or even still in that figure four shape. Of course, when the legs are crossed, it's going to be slightly more intense through your torso. Taking one more full deep breath here. And when you're ready, bring the legs back through center. Unravel the legs, stretch both legs up towards the ceiling. Gorgeous. And now from here, lower your right leg to hover just off the floor, taking hold of the back of your left thigh, calf, ankle, whatever it is that works best. And that right leg hovering just off the floor is a great way to keep that pelvic floor and lower abdominal area engaged. Just how this side responds if one side's a little different to the other. And when you're ready, figure four, left ankle hooks above the right knee and taking hold of the thigh. Deep breaths. With flow, I think that mobilizing is so important, especially if we're working towards something like half lotus. So we need this time to mobilize and open up through hips, torso, hamstrings. The twist when you're ready. So arms open up and the legs drop over to your right. If you need to shuffle your hips slightly, good. Beautiful, deep breaths. And it's up to you if the gaze stays up toward the ceiling, head turns toward the left shoulder or left arm. One more full deep breath. And you stay for the exhale. When you're ready, legs back through center. Unravel the legs. I want you from here, hold of the back of your thighs. You're going to rock back and forth, maybe a few times. We will stop in Navasana. Been doing a lot of classes lately, so I'm sure she's like, yeah, thanks, Em, that's great. So you can keep your hands behind your thighs, just as Vicky is doing right now. Be a good place to start for the core, but if you feel comfortable, yes, the arms can open up by the sides. Vicky, you do not need to demonstrate this. People know how to straighten their legs if they want to straighten their legs. Beautiful. For 3, 2, let the feet drop. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana once more. So feet touch. Now, you probably won't be able to see this in detail from the camera. What I want you to do is hold the feet together. So don't hold the feet tightly knitted together. The reason being is that instructs hips to close when you in fact want them to open. So if you're going to hold your feet, hold them as individuals. So holding the left foot with the left, right foot with the right hand, or even the ankles. Perfect, Vic. So from here, a little bit of a butterfly of the knees. So you're going to, gently pulse the knees up and down. Just notice it might be a gentle movement for you. For some of you, you'll feel a little stronger. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, you can bring that to stillness. And then a little bit of a cat movement through the spine. So inhale, holding the ankles, sternum lifts, look up. And on the exhale, chin to chin, sternum to spine. Beautiful, Vicky. And when you're ready, opening up through the chest, lengthen, gorgeous. And exhale, sternum to spine, round the back. And just doing one more round like so. Sternum up and open. Exhale, round and curve. And then come back to a neutral spine. Inhale, you tip forward, walking your hands perhaps beyond the legs and tipping forward. So Vicky is quite open in her external rotate. No, that's fine, Vicky. Where you need to go. Not all of you will necessarily feel comfortable going as deep as she is. So either way, the goal is to feel the hips opening up, the adductors, the inner groin opening up as well, and the hips. Taking 2 more full deep breaths into your back as you rounded forward. Wonderful. And when you're ready, walking the hands back in toward you. Gorgeous. We're going to take our time to come round to hands and knees. Tabletop position. Oh yes, which way are we orientating? It's a good choice. Your choice, Vicky. So as you're working here, maybe a little bit of cat-cow once more in a more comfortable position. And Vicky, as we're familiar with cat-cow, if you want, you can roll the spine in any way. So you can barrel roll through the spine and make any movements that just get that spine mobilizing. Beautiful. Taking your time to make any movements that feel good for the back. And then whenever you are ready, down dog is our destination. Toes tuck, booty to the sky. And you might want to pedal out through the feet or make any movement that just feels like it's a nice welcome to the practice. Noticing how the calves respond, the hamstrings, the shoulders. Beautiful. I want you from here to ripple forward through a plank position on your inhale. And then bend the knees, bottom to heels, rolling dog. That's it, perfect. Inhale, ripple forward. And bend and back. Waking up the arms, waking up the core. 2 more this direction. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. Walking your hands to the back of your yoga mat. Coming off those arms, take a brief half lift, perhaps fingertips to shins. And exhale, you fold. And as you fold, you let your head relax, neck relax. You can even hook your thumbs into opposite elbows. You might even let the head shake left and right for no, or your whole body sway, or if stillness might feel preferable, whatever feels best for you. And then release your arms, rolling up through standing. Arms reach up and wide, open up the chest, inhale. And exhale, you fold. Taking your hands forward, plank position. Beautiful. In your plank, just pressing back a little bit more through the heels. Good. Taking in. Stay for the exhale. 1 more inhale. And now shift the shoulders past the fingertips and lower down knees. Slowly all the way to the floor you go. Low cobra, inhale, sternum lifts, neck is long. And exhale, you lower. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Once more, inhale, lift. Now this time you're going to stay a little longer. Keep the neck long. We are going to hover those hands off the floor, Vic, so you might need to come, yes, down a little lower. Hands fly by the side. I need your shoulders to open, so option 2, clasp the hands behind your back and squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the hands together, and maybe the hands move away from the buttocks. Option to lift the feet for full Shalabhasana for 3. You can see Vicky's neck is lovely and long. You didn't even need to do Vicky. She's not looking at the front of the room. She doesn't need to. Very good. And release. Let an ear drop, let the hands release, and just wiggle your booty from side to side a little bit. Wide knee child's pose in your own time. Knees nice and wide, toes might touch. Breathe into your back. Two more breaths. When you are ready, downward facing dog. Take your and from this dog position. Ripple forward through plank on your inhale. Chaturanga, knees on or off the floor. Exhale. Back bend, inhale, top of the feet on the floor. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes back again. From your downward facing dog, shift the gaze to the top of the mat, Utkatasana. Very good. So you bring those toes to touch, knees to touch, and I want you to just listen to your shoulders here. So what for you, whether it feels nice to you, yeah, optional box open of the shoulders, cactus arms. And in fact, we might actually add sweep the hands behind you, clasp the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders back, and it's okay if that back wants to arch a little bit. And of course, we're not dumping any weight into anything, but just opening up more through the spine. Take an inhale. And exhale, you fold. Let that head hang, hands stretching toward the front of your mat. That's it. And just a little adjustment. Notice if those shoulders have crept up around the neck. Yes, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, and then the hands move forward. For 3, for 2, and release. The feet reach up to the ceiling, light back bend, heart up. And exhale, you fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step or float back, full vinyasa. Very good. From your downward facing dog, shift the gaze to the top of the mat. Once more, Utkatasana. Beautiful. That's it. This time I want you to bring your hands to your heart. Standing up, shifting the weight onto your right foot, left knee lifts to chest. Perfect. Figure 4, left ankle hooks above your right knee and sit back in that chair to open up through the hips. So the main goal is here, opening up that left glute, and it's up to you how deep you want to sit. If you can feel that left hip awakening, take an inhale here. Stay on the exhale. Inhale, stand up, knee to chest. On your exhale, sending that leg to the back. Honest lunge, fingertips touch the earth. Right arm reaches up, low lunge twist. So keep pushing through the heel. And from here, you have the option to stay in this shape or Cleopatra, rolling onto the outside blades of the feet and reaching that right hand to the back. Good work. Just feeling that right hip again, externally rotating. Beautiful. Sweeping the hand back down to frame the foot. Lovely. Inhale, sternum opens. Get up on your fingertips or even blocks under your hands. Yes, let's do that, Vic. That gives you a gorgeous shape. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Pyramid variation. That's it. Inhale, rebend. We're going to do 3 more pulses. Sternum open. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. 2 more. In. Bend, open, and exhale back. Last one, your own rhythm, and exhale back. So now we're going to hold this shape. Option of keeping your back foot where it is, or Vicky will give you the option of number 2. You might step that back foot in a little bit, more of a pyramid shape. So yeah, if you want to have that foot closer, you can. If your hands are on blocks or on books or something of the like, you might get a little more height. But your ideal is here to get into those hamstrings, whether you're tipping forward or staying lengthened as Vicky just was. If you wish here, you have the option of taking either hands behind your back in a reverse prayer, palms connect, pinkies into your spine, or you could just leave the hands where they were before. So whatever feels best for you. Wrap your right hip back away. Good, Vicky, for 3, 2, very good. Move those blocks or books by your foot. Plant your palms. Left foot steps to the back of the mat. 3-legged dog. Kick the right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Peel open your hip. Just have a little stretch out. Beautiful. Hips. And you can either keep that foot now straight and pointed. Yes. Vinyasa or foot to the floor. So up to you if you're going to take a single-legged flow as Vicky is doing here. Or if you're going to take a more traditional, familiar variation on your knees. And you can always skip flows, by the way. That's always an option. Shift the gaze to the top of your mat. Soften your knees. Malasana this time. You squat. So your feet step or hop, yes, outside the hands.
Good.
Bring your hands to your heart. Now sternum lengthen. Beautiful. We're not going to add anything fancy in here. I just want you to feel some length. Breathe into your back. Oh, is it bad if I wouldn't mind adding a bind in. Sorry, everybody. Right arm tucks underneath your shin. The left arm opens up. Now, you might find any of this, but you do have the option to half bind with that left arm around behind your waist, or yes, full bind with your right hand. And don't worry that your hands connect or don't. That's irrelevant. What I want to see is that you're opening up through the chest, getting into your shoulders, because it's hips, shoulders today. Very good. Back through center when you're ready. And switch. Left arm tucks underneath. Right arm opens up. Notice your breath. Half bind, full bind. What do you need to add, if anything? You can see how Vicky's not overworking her neck. Her neck is really nice and relaxed and dropped, and she's stretching out through that neck. Very good, everybody. I hope you're feeling your hips. Let's release that bind. Forward fold. Let your head hang. And just give the neck a gentle shake. No. A little nod for yes. Beautiful. Rolling up through standing. Arms reach up and wide. Inhale. And hands to your heart. Exhale. Very good. Bring your feet to hip width distance, if not there already. Yes, you can even bring the toes to touch. We shift the weight now over onto the left leg. Right knee lifts to the chest. Beautiful. Extend that leg back. Oh, figure four. Ankle hooks above the knee. That's it. And sit back in that chair to feel right glute now open. So it's up to you, the depth of the seat. It doesn't matter too much. What matters is sensation. Do you feel something useful? Very good. Knee to your chest. Inhale. Stand up. And sending that leg back, fingertips to the floor, low runner's lunge. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. You very good. Stay in that lovely open shape, or Cleopatra, rolling onto outside blade of foot, opening up through that hip. Notice your breath. For 3, 2, and very good. Left hand comes to frame that front foot. Inhale, left knee is bent, sternum open. Maybe hands, if that is optional. You can go without this time. Exhale, straighten out that left leg. Perfect. Inhale, you bend 3 more times. And exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Once more, inhale. And exhale, straighten. Very good. Option to keep that shape, and you can see that Vicky's got a lovely challenging variation where she's on the heel of that left foot, or you can in a little closer for a more traditional pyramid shape. Either way, hamstrings are the goal. So with your hands, there they are, or you can bring your hands behind your back for a reverse prayer where your pinkies connect into your spine, your palms, your thumbs connect. And yes, she's got this lovely lengthened shape through her spine. Option to tip forward. She wants to fold a little deeper. For 3. For 2. Fabulous. Hands to the floor. Slide that right foot back. Kick the left leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Peel open the hip. Bend the knee. Just that love. Stretch out. When you're ready, foot to the floor or square off the hips, vinyasa. Elbows graze the ribs, back bend, tops of the feet on the floor. Downward facing dog. Lovely. Take a big inhale through the nose, through the mouth. 2 more, inhale. Through the mouth, exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Very good. The top of the mat, once more, chair pose, Utkatasana. Very good. So you have the option here of either taking yourself into a forward fold or Bakasana, and that's where we're going, Vicky. So crow pose. So you can see she's placed those hands well forward of her shoulders. She looks forward,
leans forward, the knees connect to the triceps, that's it, and you can see well forward, and now her feet lift, maybe one at a time. Heels to your buttocks, point your feet. You have a choice to either just stay there, if you want to step back, spring back, bow, not bad. Down dog when you're ready, everybody. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Long breaths out. I'm just going to add a little bit of a twist and a shoulder opener here. So your left hand takes hold of the right leg or ankle. Perfect. Armpit. We're just working, right armpit. Sorry, Vicky. Yeah, thank you for that. That makes complete sense. To look under your left armpit would be really hard. So you're just working a bit of a spinal twist here. This is interesting enough. I know a few of you are teachers and a bit of who are viewing tonight. So if you want to experiment, Vicky, it's optional. You can try and hover your left foot off the floor and lift that left leg to the ceiling. Please be I'm asking her to do something challenging. If those of you who are attempting this, you will know. Yeah, no. But those of you at home, you'll give it a go. Have a giggle. And when you are ready, we switch hands. Beautiful, Vicky. So your right hand now takes hold of the outside of your left leg or left ankle. If and any of you guys are just finding this way too strong, do a thread the needle or something of the like instead. Very good. 2 more breaths. If you're hovering that right foot off the floor, though, you can experiment with that and see how it goes. Oh, Vicky. Good. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a major leg lift to the ceiling. It can be just that experimental lift. Well done, everybody. Hands back to the floor. That was a lot more than 2 breaths. When you're ready, shift the gaze to the top of the mat. So, in fact, child's pose. Take a rest. Child's pose. So, take a breather, whether your arms are out in front or whether you want to bring the hands down by the hips. Before our standing sequence, I just want you to breathe into your back. Very good. Two more full deep breaths. Well done. Whenever you are ready, you're going to take your time through downward facing dog. Shift the gaze to the front of the mat. Step or hop to the top just into a half lift. Inhale and exhale, you fold. Arms reach up and wide. Inhale and exhale, hands to the heart. Very good. So we are going to, from here, return a similar sequence, same, but it's very different in the standing. So we're going to start it similarly, mainly. So shifting the weight onto the right foot, left knee to chest. Figure 4, ankle hooks above the knee, sit back. Now, optionally, you are able to stay in this seated position. That is option 1. Option 2 is that you work for a forward fold, but with that ankle in position. So it's like a standing split variation where you then would forward fold, out that right leg. And yes, maybe your hands would wrap around your ankle, going from there if you wish. Those of you who want to work to a flying pigeon arm balance, you're going to go there, Vicky? Yeah, go girlfriend. So she's going to demonstrate option 3. So she's got that shin in place on the biceps. She leans forward and you might just keep the heel hugging into the bum, or you might extend that leg back. That's optional. Beautiful. Place that foot to the floor, standing up. Chest, hands to heart, everybody. I know. Good work. Stepping that leg back, crescent lunge. It's going to be a brief transition. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Inhale. Warrior 2. Exhale. Right palm up. Exhale. In breath. Trikonasana. Exhale. You reach tip. Gorgeous. So just opening up in that Trikonasana. Notice the lovely torso is encouraged. You've got a really open chest, open torso. I want you to change nothing about that. Simply bend your right knee now to enter the side angle. So yes, the rest as Vicky's just done there, forearm to the thigh. Oh yes, you can slide the right hand further down inside. Half bind is optional, full bind is optional. You can even bird of paradise if you want. Otherwise, I want some open hip. You're working the bird with Vicky. Left foot step to the top of the mat. Standing up, opening up through the spine. The right leg might stay bent or it might straighten. Perfect. For 3, 2, slowly stepping that foot down to the floor. Warrior 2. Well done. Very good. Inhale. Skandasana into the left leg. Exhale. Did I say this class was about hips and hamstrings? Oh, good. I'm glad I gave you a warning. All right. All right. And what I want you to do from here is just take 2 more full deep breaths. Don't worry if you're not as deep as Vic. You can always do the shape almost like a variation of a side angle. Walking the hands to the front of the mat. When you are ready, frame that right foot. Right leg kicks up and back. 3-legged dog. Peel open your hip. Any option to flip. Good luck, Vicky. You don't have much space. You're doing beautifully. Those of you who aren't flipping, just keep that hip peeling open. Keep breathing. Sweep it back. Full vinyasa is optional. You can skip it. You can add it in any way you wish. From your downward facing dog, big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose. Once more in, release. Shift the gaze to the top of the mat, soften the knees and half lift to the top of the mat. Beautiful. Exhale, fold. Rolling up through standing, arms reach up and wide. Hands to heart, exhale. I just want to take a brief reset at the top of the mat. Relax the shoulders. Just the breathing. Not an easy sequence, so just notice what the energy is like in the body. When you're ready, shifting the weight now over onto that left leg, right knee lifts, figure 4. Right ankle hooks above your left knee. Very good. Sitting back in that chair, opening up that hip. Nice. So remember option 1, staying in that seat. Option 2, tipping forward, forward fold with a straight leg, almost variation. You can even wrap one hand or both around the ankle. Option 3, Vicky's just doing the whole gamut. You're working into your flying pigeon. That shin rests on the arms, looking forward, heel plugs in toward the buttock, active left foot. For 3, 2, left foot touches down, stand up, right knee to body up, hands to heart, crescent lunge, stepping that leg back, arms reach up. Inhale, exhale, open out, warrior 2. Inhale, exalt. Trikonasana, exhale. Very good. So from here, you're opening up through that torso. You've got this gorgeous shape where your hamstrings are opening, your torso is spinning open. You change very little about that torso. Bend into that left knee, side angle. So forearm might stay on the thigh. You might take that arm overhead. You might hold that shape, or half bind was an option. Sliding that left hand down the inner leg, or full bind was an option. If you're bird of paradising, look to the top of the mat. That's it. Beautiful step, Vicky. Push that right foot down into the floor and lift. Shoulders roll back. Option to extend that left leg for 3, 2. Very good. Left foot comes to the floor, stepping that right leg back. Warrior 2. Well done. Skandasana into that right leg. Very good. So whether you're down quite deep like Vic's, and it doesn't matter if you're or not, that part's really irrelevant. You find you get more length through what Vicky is doing with her right heel off the floor. Very good. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, transition to the top of the mat, walking forward, frame that left foot, 3-legged dog, peel open that left hip, bend your knee, option to hold that shape, or if you want, flip the dog. Opening up the chest, hips high for 3, for 2, and sweep it back. Vinyasa is optional. Take your flow. Downward facing dog. Your choice now whether you're going to be taking a child's pose, a dolphin, a pose is an option if you wish to open up the chest a little bit more. So your choice. Oh, Vicky's still got a lot of energy. Well done. You're working here in your variation, whether it be that nice restful child's pose, heart melting pose to stretch open the chest, or your dolphin to strengthen your shoulders. You might choose to work leg lifts if you're in dolphin, but really that's optional. That's optional. Good work. Well done. Beautiful. When you're ready, those of you in active poses, meet, breathe in child's pose. And just breathe into your back for a couple more deep breaths. We have one more standing balance to go. It's the culmination of our standing balances, and then it's all downhill, down into the floor. So when you're ready, I want you to come through hands and knees, downward facing dog. Very good. And walking your hands to the back of your mat. And take all the time you need to slowly roll up through standing. Very good. So Vicky, you might want to turn and orientate and face toward the camera, and that might be the easiest balances. So I want you to shift the weight over onto your right leg, left knee lifts, and you're going to from here take hold of your ankle and your calf. That's it, and your knee, calf, whatever works. Yeah, good. And then you might here either choose to go back, and I'm going to verbally give this instruction. You can go back to figure 4. We've done it plenty. You know what it looks like. We're working into half lotus. The heel of the foot comes into the hip flexor, and that knee gently wings down toward the floor. So you can keep that right hand connected to the foot. That left hand wrap around behind your back, half bind. Now, don't worry if you can't hold onto the foot. Vicky was going for to bind all the way around to hold on the foot. If you can, that's an option. But otherwise, yes, do what Vicky is doing here. If you can hold your elbow, right arm, fantastic. If this is too intense, do tree pose. If that's going to be much kinder for your hips, you can always, and don't need to do this, Vicky, but you can bring your left foot to your inner thigh. So this is interesting enough. Yes. Half lotus, working into the hips, working our balance. But if you want, you can from here keep the hand behind the back, forward fold without your hands. Yeah, it's optional. If you feel as though that's a little bit scary, you can use your left hand to reach for the floor. Good work. It's all an experiment. Take 2 more breaths. When you are ready, slowly rise up. That left arm might even lead and follow, reach to the ceiling. Well done, Vicky, beautiful. Good, good. Release, well done. Now, as you release that leg, you might want to walk out your feet a little bit or just roll out the ankles. Yeah, do whatever feels right. And just really observe, though, if you feel strong discomfort through your knees and ankles, just noticing, was it maybe a bit too much to go into the full lotus? Do I need tree? So just be mindful of maybe your knees and ankles are telling you that your hip was not yet open enough. All right, second side, shifting the weight over onto the left leg and right knee lifts. And you're going to take hold of the ankle, that calf first, and just working into that bit of hip opening there. And that might be enough. And if tree you here, go tree. Otherwise, that's it. The outside blade of that foot comes into the hip flexor. You wing that right knee down to the floor. And that might be enough. Your hands might stay where they are. You might half bind that right arm around behind your back and find the elbow crease. Option to stay there. It's interesting enough. Or experimental. You might tip without hands. Or if you think you might like to use your right hand, you can use your right hand. Ooh, Vicky's being experimental here. And so she might not go as deep as she did before. It might not be as far. Couple more breaths. Well done, well done. Slowly coming up. Well done, Vicky. It's not easy. Beautiful work. And I actually, the start of class, I think we always ask each other when we're demoing, oh, anything I should know? And I, of course, said, no, nothing you should know. Well done. When you're ready, we are going to come back to the top of the mat. So back to the top of your mat. Arms reach up and wide. Inhale. Brief exhale, you fold. Take a half lift. Inhale. And exhale, step or float back, plank position. Optional flow. That up dog might just feel really nice after the postures we've done to open up through the front body. And downward facing dog. Lovely. From your down dog, I want you from here to inhale, right leg lifts. More love for your hips, pigeon pose. So with your pigeon today, I want you, if you find that pigeon is interesting enough, I like to layer in my practices just so those of you who need something interesting and juicy, so you have something to play with. But if pigeon is interesting enough, stick with it. If you want to stay upright, back bend, do whatever you want, go there. But what I'm going to guide is a bit of a bind variation. So you might from here walk your hands forward and there, thread the needle. Your left arm threads underneath your right, left shoulder, left side of the head, touch down to the floor, or yes, exactly, Vicky, head might rest on the block. And so she might keep her arms there. She might instead half bind with the right arm around behind the back. Now, with that half bind, you can do numerous things with that half bind if you're adding in this stuff. If you want, you can seek the foot that's underneath your body for a half bind to find the foot, just like we did in standing. Or you can bend the left knee and give yourself a quad stretch, taking hold of the foot. Perfect, Vicky. Thank you. So if you're finding that this is really detracting from the initial pose, then ditch it. Go back to something that was useful. Vicky has got really squareness through her hips. She's got a really nice quad stretch going there and a lovely twist through the shoulders. So the pose looks useful. Very good. Take one more full deep breath. Long exhale. And then you've got to de-pretzel yourselves. If you're pretzeled, take your time to unravel. I want you to stretch back, down facing dog. If you want to vinyasa or peel open your hip, I just want you to do whatever feels right between sides. Take your time to stretch out, add anything you need. Perfect. And when you're ready, pigeon, left side. Left leg will lift, left knee comes toward left wrist, and you might stay upright for a little bit first to lengthen through the spine. I know some of you, if you're still there, might be working your king. It's a specialty. Otherwise, you might be walking the hands forward. And if you're threading the needle variation this time, the right arm threads underneath the left, right shoulder connects to the floor. And if you can, how are you going there for space, Vicky?
Not too good.
Good. You're doing well. And right side of the head to a block or the floor. And when you're ready, you might work into half bind. That's an option. You might seek that foot underneath you. That might be an option. Some of you will be able to hold on to the foot. Some of you won't, and that's cool. Some of you were going the final or other variation, which is to bend the knee and take hold of the foot. Now, one thing I will say is that with these postures, when I layer them, just because I keep giving more options does not make the last thing I say or the last pose I give you superior. That is not the case at all. So traditional pigeon might be the most superior shape for your body today rather than this pretzel-y variation that we've got demoed here. So whatever feels best. One more full deep breath. And when you're ready, slowly unravel. Press the palms into the floor. You'll come back through downward facing dog. And some of you might want to stretch out. You're even taking a full vinyasa. You just do whatever feels good for the body. Beautiful. We are going to sit. So I want you to shift the gaze toward your hands. Beautiful. Bring the knees down. Lovely. And just taking a moment to sit in hero, just as he's doing here, whether it's comfortable to sit back on your feet. That's one variation, sitting with your feet in plantar flexion. Another variation might be to tuck the toes under and work into a bit of a brief stand and work into some of the meridian lines in the feet. Yeah, she's tucking her toes under. Nice. I'm just taking a brief breather, a brief meditation here. Well done. When you're ready, I want you to shift the weight over, sweep those legs out toward the top of your mat and sit on your buttocks, stretching those legs out. So we're going to now be working into a section of the exploring. Yeah? So seated Janusisasana. So option 1, your right foot comes to your inner left thigh for Janusisasana. So that's sufficient. If that's interesting enough, stick with that. If you want to work Lotus variation, your right foot hooks into that left hip. And by the way, Vicky, you can demo it and go back to either one if you prefer the other. Yeah. So she's got that foot now tucked into that left hip. Now that might be it. Otherwise, your right arm, gorgeous Vicky, good idea. Your right arm around behind your back, and you might even bind in and take hold of the foot. Yeah. And so I should, you did ask me, do we need good, yeah, but stick with it, yeah, because it's not going to be a nice comfy forward fold for her. So whatever variation you're in, whether it's that half lotus shape, that Janusisasana, you forward fold. He needs to bend in Janusisasana, you let it bend. It's beautiful. So she's still got that foot hooked in, but she's stretching her arms forward. Those of you who half bound with the right arm behind the back, it might just be, yeah, your left arm that reaches through and gorgeous. Or you can fold the chest forward. Work beautifully. Just a couple more deep breaths. Well done. When you're ready, slowly release. Slowly sit up. I want you to move that foot from lotus position. I could teach a very advanced variation for the knee, but I'm not going to do it. You're going to leave that shin on the floor, start, place your right hand next to your hip. That right knee, pelvis up and open. Breathe for 3, 2. Very good. Let that bottom lower down. And when you're ready, we switch. Janusisasana, second side. So it might be traditional Janusisasana. It might be, yes, foot up to the hip and working that half lotus variation. Some of you find that behind the back. Some of you will not. And when you are ready, any forward fold variation over those hamstrings. So you can do the open variation, which Vicky is doing here, or the closed variation, perfect, where you spin the chest down. Deep breaths. Really relaxing through the neck, the back. Well done. Slowly, slowly sitting up. Unravel the legs, stretch those legs out. We are going to now come onto our backs. Yay! So I want you in your own time to come down onto your back and just observe before we add in how the hips are feeling, how the back is feeling, the shoulders. So you can keep it quite restorative if you want here, and you might be working legs up the wall, Viparita Karani, or you can do it in the middle of the space as Vicky is doing here with either hands underneath the sacrum, or you can even use a block or a bolster or blanket underneath your lower back. You can add it like that, but legs to the ceiling. If you wish to work into your shoulder stand, you can feel free to work there. It's up to you. How are you feeling, Vicky? All good? So she pushes off the floor, supports her low back. And it does not matter how lengthened you are toward the ceiling. Today we haven't done a lot through that upper spine area. So if you find that your body is quite tilted or bent to the feet, that's do deeper, of course. Walk your hands higher to the shoulder blades. So from here, you have the option to work into your plow pose, legs lowering over the head, and the feet might gently touch the floor. And yes, your hands can either support your back or can come to the floor behind you, whatever works. You with legs up to the ceiling, I want you to just stay there and deepen your breath. For those of you who have worked into your plow, your options, of course, if you're ready to roll out, you could do that. Or deaf man's pose, the knees bend into the ears and the hands might take hold of the ankles and working into that deaf man's pose. If that's a bit much to hold onto the feet or the ankles, then of course feel free to just keep supporting the back. Whenever you are ready, you can slowly roll out. Now, sweep your hands back down, so they're going to be underneath the buttocks, palms to the floor, and slowly roll your buttocks down onto those hands. We're going to go straight to fish. So as her legs lower, her sternum lifts, her crown of the head comes to the floor. So you see it become a smooth movement. Beautiful. For those of you who've been in legs up the wall or legs to the ceiling for a little while, you can release whenever you're ready. My people who have followed in that fish, feel free to release. And just noticing how the spine feels after that strong work through the upper back and the neck. You might hug the knees in towards the chest. Just massaging the back once more into the floor. We take a very simple spinal twist just to thank the spine for the work it's done today. So arms might come out to the side or box the elbows, and letting the legs drop to the left-hand side. How's your breath? And then when you're ready, bring legs back through center and off to the other side. In your own time, bring those legs back through center. Maybe one last cuddle of the knees. Your destination in your own time, Shavasana. Find just to release any residual tension in the body, because we did do some postures today that were a little more challenging. Release through the mouth. Inhale. Let it go. Once more in. Release. Just let your breathing become as natural and comfortable as if you were sleeping. Shavasana. Notice if your mind has started to wander. If it has wandered off, come back to focusing more on your out breath, letting that thought go with that out breath. Just noticing the muscles of the face, noticing if there's a little more space left for the jaw to relax, for the forehead to relax. Could the shoulders melt into the floor a little more? Could the buttocks loosen off just that little bit more? And these things are always an invitation rather than a demand or an insistence. I want you, when you're ready, to bring a little movement into the fingers, maybe the feet, the toes. Take all the time you need to maybe bring some movement into the limbs, maybe bending the knees. Whenever you're ready, rolling over onto your right hand side. Take your time. And slowly, slowly, sitting up. There's no rush. In your own time, to bring your hands to heart center. And bring your thumbs to your eyebrow center for kind thoughts. Your thumbs to your lips for kind words. And your thumbs to your heart for kind actions. Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible.